is JP. I'm here to share my opinion of the behavior of this board of trustees for the last 7 months. I've been observing how you treat people, and I think it's wrong. I also don't believe you show the public any respect. Other boards around the state treat people better than you treat people in our community who bring serious issues before you. Recently, I read a story about the Geneva Public Library Board in Kane County, and how those trustees violated the Open Meetings Act by improperly holding a closed session to review legal invoices. I want to compare the behavior of that board to your behavior over the last several months. When the Geneva board was told it violated the law, they were embarrassed. They immediately took steps to fix the problem and thanked the people who brought it to their attention. The board president said at the time it was a teachable moment for them. That board will retake the Open Meetings Act training so they will never violate the law again. The board released the audio recording and all notes taken during the improperly held closed session. Then they apologized to the public for breaking the law. This is the complete opposite of how the Orland Park Public Library has behaved. For many months, you have lashed out at your critics and played a game of attack the messenger. Your spokesman lies to the media, and you have attorneys who sit here during these meetings and let you violate the law. Your attorneys should stop you when you violate the Open Meetings Act, but they don't. You should be ashamed that members of the public know the law better than your attorneys. I'm aware that Lisa Madigan's office rules against this board all the time. You are constantly finding new ways to break the law. Another instance I'm aware of involves the city of Bridgeport. They held an illegal meeting on a state holiday back in 2011 and did it on accident, not on purpose. When it was brought to their attention, the board immediately took steps to put all the items they voted on into an agenda, and they held new recital and deliberation on all those items. This is what a board is supposed to do. The city of Bridgeport did not lash out at its critics, lie to the media, or attack the people who pointed out violations. They were embarrassed by what they did and admitted they were wrong. They also admitted they received bad legal advice, and I believe they fired the bad attorney and looked for a new attorney who was a better lawyer. Why don't you behave like the Geneva board or the Bridgeport board? You should admit when you are wrong and say you are sorry and tell the public you will fix things. Why do you pay your attorneys so much money when they tell you to break the law, and why do you waste too much money on bad lawyers? Why do you need to pay attorneys to give public documents to the public? I don't understand why you keep wasting money on their legal bills. I'm tired of watching you behave this way, and I want to see you take some responsibility for violating laws. I think the board members who planned to violate the Open Meetings Act should resign tonight. You know who you are, and I think you are disgraceful. Thank you for paying attention for 5 minutes.
I am an Orland Park resident. The Orland Park Library Board of Trustees, their attorney, and the American Library Association are backing policies that allow child porn to be accessed in a public library full of children by claiming they are defending the First Amendment. Opposing them are concerned patrons and residents who uncovered a public access point to child pornography and have taken up the fight toward having that access removed. Yes, child porn is being viewed on public library computers. A man was just sentenced for doing so at the Bloomingdale Public Library. If content is not filtered or monitored, then deleted daily, how can anyone claim that it is not? Further, the library's own incident reports indicate child porn was accessed here in 2011 without any repercussion. Sex offenders who are not legally allowed to use computers have access to them at any library, especially this one. It is sensible and logical that the same filters used elsewhere in the library can be applied to your computers. I agree with Mayor McLaughlin's recommendation that filters be installed on adult computers, which can be bypassed upon request. Wouldn't that discourage nefarious patrons and allow full access only to serious researchers? Wouldn't it be in the best interest of parents and children who patronize the library? It would, in the least, show that the Orland Library is willing to compromise and listen to the needs of its employers the patrons and residents of Orland Park, and not the ALA. However, rather than compromise, this elected board, with help from the ALA, has turned a deaf ear to the public and instead taken it upon themselves to initiate inept activities to undermine its critics. You lie to the media. You stonewall FOIA requests. You file baseless complaints with the police. You arbitrarily move public board meetings and change rules just to avoid criticism. I asked why you wouldn't allow that man who wanted to Skype in today. Hear what he has to say. What is wrong with free and open exchange of ideas here? You hold secret meetings with other libraries to brainstorm on how to silence critics. The Attorney General has even cited you twice and counting for violations of the Open Meetings Act. Your behavior is not only unacceptable and embarrassing to Orland Park residents, much of it is illegal. Serious questions are raised. Why are you willing to break the law? Why is your general counsel not advising against it? How many tax dollars are going to that same attorney advising indefinitely on how to endure this absurdity of their own creation? Klein, Thorpe, and Jenkins has billed over $80,000 since last October when this all started. Much of it as a result of the library's extraordinary efforts to protect an access point to child pornography. The Orland Park Library needs to get serious, not only about making their library safer by installing the filters, but also rectifying the foolish mess this board has created, starting with the termination of your general counsel and including the resignations of board members who broke the law. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
It's a faded calico fixture.
I saw it. Sure.
How many general contractors?
To elaborate a little bit on the lighting, as Michael said, we currently have 7 fixtures in place that shine. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. How many GCs were bidding?
Excuse me. Public comments over.
No, your rules say if you have questions about what you're talking about, people can talk. What are you going to do? Have James Fessler throw us out?
Public comment is over.
Why don't you ever answer questions? This man has a legitimate question. He wants to know how many contractors. Is that so difficult to answer?
I need to move to recess. I move that we
Request that the designer throw in his fees for free for fixing deficiencies in the original design.
Where's Bridget Bittman going?
You calling the police, Bridget? That's what she normally does. She's good at that.
Get your hands off the phone.
It is a good question, and there's no reason why they shouldn't answer it. And you guys know this. You should stop them.
Motion, can we please call the roll?
Bridget, where are you going? Watching this fiasco. What?
Bridget Bittman.
Motion to recess for a short time.
All right, I don't need one.
I don't need one either.
Garrett?
Yes.
Jennings?
Yes.
Liebert, no.
Continue on with your business.
Are we, is the board finished? Do you have any questions of Mr. Mr. Barnes? Any
many contractors get bid? It's a simple
It's
question.
unlimited, it's whoever's gonna do it.
It's out for bid. We don't know how many.
And then how do we narrow them? I mean, how are we gonna narrow it by price, or how are we gonna do that?
That's what we should do, we should we'll look at who's involved, who the companies are, and then we'll look at who the pricing is, and do we even need it?
Well, I mean, well, exactly, but there might be 100 bids,
Yeah.
so I mean, it might be ridiculous. Do we stop at 20, or
We don't stop at any number of bids.
Okay, there's just a
They,
date.
as many bids are as received that meet all the requirements will be reviewed, and then at the June meeting, we'll recommend the lowest responsible bid.
Okay.
Whether we start after the September 27th.
Michael, did you give us a timeline on how long it would take? Yes. Is that up to the contractor, or do you have any thought about that?
We expect it to be done within that 3-month time period, probably less. But it's something that we'll have to hear from the contractors to
When the bid is submitted, would the timeline be included in the bid materials for each contractor?
One of the requirements is substantial completion by 5 p.m. on September 26th. What that basically means is the lobby basically needs to be cleaned up, and most, there may be a fixture that for whatever reason. PM on September 26th. What that basically means is the lobby basically needs to be cleaned up, and most, there may be a fixture that for whatever reason, but, if there aren't sawhorses or cones in the lobby, for the concert, so.
With the starting of what? Mr. JP, you're disrupting our meeting. Could you please sit down?
Point of order, explain how that's
Excuse me.
disrupting.
He's disrupting our field division. Could you please sit down?
I'm using the restroom.